Hi, everyone. Gig Coach Jake streaming live. I just want to bring some exclusive news that I just found out with GrubHub and a change that they made on their operating system as far as how offers are being dispatched to the merchants. What they've done is they've now created some type of geofencing with certain merchants. So, like Yum Brands, for example, you have Taco Bell and KFC. I also experienced Subway. What this means, you will have to get to the merchant or close geofence, right? So a perimeter before they're going to dispatch the offer to the merchant and get it started. You need to get there faster. It sucked because the first one I went to, the Subway, was almost 15 minutes away. By the time I got there, I rolled in and the manager was kind of rude, and I understood why afterwards, but told me, we just received the order. It'll be a while. It was three sub combo. We all know it doesn't take too long. Luckily, it didn't. It took about 5-7 minutes. So I bit my tongue with the guy being rude, was patient, waited. They brought it over pretty quick. Then I ended up at a KFC. KFC, same thing. I got there. She said, "Oh, we don't have a GrubHub." Then she looked, it just come through. I put a message in my Facebook group. By the way, check the description afterwards. There'll be the links to the Facebook groups. There's a global, so nationwide and even outside of the US. And then there's an Arizona specific. Make sure you select the correct one. Anyhow, what they've done is they've created this geofence to limit the amount of offers that are getting fixed, right? And they're sitting and waiting. Yum Brands has a percentage, a small percentage, I think it's like 3% that they bought into GrubHub. GrubHub doesn't want to piss them off. There's a good partnership there. And it makes sense that they incorporate something like this. Subway, they're not part of Yum Brands. And I do not know what other merchants. I would imagine Burger King and places like that. Definitely a lot of the fast food places. Be prepared for that. Just know that when you accept an offer, like my KFC was, I accepted that one when I was going to finish the other offer that I picked up, that first one, that Subway. I was heading the opposite direction. It was probably 15 minutes before I got to that KFC. That's 15 minutes where that order would have been prepared or done. GrubHub has to be the worst when it comes to dispatching offers. Why can they not get this right? I'm going to do a personal video for CEO Matt Maloney on my take on what they need to do with the changes for the dispatching system. It's out of control. It's ridiculous. They keep passing the buck to drivers. And guess what? They act like they're paying us for time, and they aren't. That's added time. I could have been super efficient picking that one up. I love that feature, being able to accept an offer before you're done with the other one. It creates efficiency. By the time I got to that other one, I should have been ready. I should be done and out of there. I was over 12 minutes away to the Subway. By the time I got to that Subway, those 3 subs should have been done. They have to create a bigger geofence. I understand why they had that and incorporated it. That makes sense. That when the driver's within a distance, say that the average takes 10 minutes to prepare on a lot of these places. There has to be some type of agreement or partnership where it's like, okay, drivers come in, we know it because they hit inside the geofence area, they get the offer, they get it started. We cannot just show up and always be sitting and waiting. There has to be some type of resolution that's a win-win for everyone and not just completely always screwing the drivers. This is new information. I have not seen or heard this anywhere else. And again, like I said, I put a post on my Facebook group asking if anybody else had experienced, rude and customers basically at Subway. It was a completely different post that had nothing to do with, and it led to this information, which is huge. The reason it's huge is because it allows us to make better decisions. When you get those offers that are very far away, that's BK, Subway, KFC, Taco Bell, just know that they're now not even going to start that offer before. Like a Taco Bell, they would start, and by the time you got there, it'd be done. Or in my case, I wouldn't even start leaving. I would wait about 5 minutes before I went there, knowing that I was always waiting at least 5 minutes when I went to the ones close to my house. Just know that you need to boogie woogie and get there faster so they can get it started and you get on your way. Also know that if it's far away, add some time to it. It's probably not worth it. I know some of these are like, oh, okay, yeah, it's a Taco Bell. Usually they're very fast, or KFC. The game's changed. Always changing. So these gig companies will always forever be changing things to stay one step ahead and keep an edge over the drivers. I just want to let you all know That way you can start making some decisions that aren't going to impact you in a negative way, like I did. I mean, quick, hard lesson. I'm glad I learned right away. I was able to put that post on Facebook so we could communicate, talk about that, and figure out, oh, okay, she talked to a manager at Taco Bell and they told that now they have some. That makes sense, right? Taco Bell, they're part of the Yum Brands, and that just totally makes sense. They don't want to piss them off. They want to keep that. Anyhow, I'm going to jump right here to the chat, see what you all have to say, and discuss this a little bit more. For those that don't want to hear the chat, the discussion with everyone, you got your information. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day, and we'll move forward. Patient with me 1 second here. So I'll scroll up the top. I'll try not to miss any of these here. So again, hi everyone. I'm not going to go out and say individual names. Don't want to take up too much time. Valdestat says that happens to me in my market already and had been for 2 months now. This could have been going on for a while. I don't know, because I do stay away from a lot of those places in the smaller offers. But this is the first that I heard of it. And it just makes complete sense, especially after I have back-to-back orders in a situation where it played out like that. Let's see who else here. So Larry Crow says, GrubHub are making drivers in my market drive outside the regional boundary up to 5 miles. Be careful with that, because if you're outside the boundary and it's like 14 and 44 after the hour, they could bump you off the block. They also could potentially block restriction. You have the power to reject and accept. So control your own destiny there. And just know that they're not going to care whether you took an offer outside the boundaries. It's going to be a crap game. And what they'll do is they'll block restriction. You'll get 1 strike. You'll get back on the app. After you've had 2 or maybe 3, you can no longer get block access again. We all know on GrubHub, if you don't have block access, you're not going to make him very much money. Bear with me here. I am on block, so I'm scrolling through. 710. Far offer. Crazy. So Dealer Rock got a $46 over guaranteed tip the other day. My highest payout so far for $206 worth of food. That was on DoorDash, right? I'm guessing that's a DoorDash offer. 46 over guaranteed. That's amazing. The biggest offer I've ever had on DoorDash was $42. But for $206 of food, man, that's a fat tip. That's pretty good. So pretty close to 25%, somewhere in there. Let's see what else we got. Rockstar says, I walked out on a Taco Bell order because it was not ready when I got there. I do not wait. Just know that now going forward, the markets where they've introduced this geofencing, and the way you can find out is if you have some type of rapport with any of the managers in some of those places, or with maybe the employees, talk and ask them, especially if they said, we just got the offer. That opens up the door, an opportunity for you to get more information as far as how it's going to affect you in your market, right? All of our markets are different. They start this in some markets, a slow roll it out in others. Let's see. Larry Crow, GrubHub is letting diners order outside the boundary under the Tennessee River, and you have to drive 10 to 20 miles out of the way to get to diner. Then it's the same dead miles back. Reject. Let GrubHub deal with that problem. Reject and let them call you and add $10. Make sure that when any of these calls come through that you are recording it. It could be as simple as you putting them on speakerphone. All these smartphones have a voice recording app. Go click the voice recording app, start that, and now it's recording the voice, the interaction on the speakerphone. Those that have dash cams, you have the recording on your dash cam to the speakerphone. Make sure you have them on speaker. You have to get this stuff. It's only they covering your end of what was said and what they say. So especially in like an agreement where they offer $5 or $10 bonus to take a certain offer, which are starting to do a lot. And I have a live stream tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Pacific time discussing how we can create some of these companies to pay us higher and what we can do as far as accepting offers, being smarter, working smarter, especially with DoorDash. It's kind of tough. Most of the offers are $5 to $7 on the initial screen, right? I got some tips and tricks for that tomorrow. And again, jump in those Facebook groups, the global, which is nationwide and in some other countries, and then the Arizona specific. We do a lot of discussion on things in there that you would miss out on that I don't quite get to in some of these videos. Going on with the questions. So Lana says, KFC makes me push arrive button before they make the order. Maybe get more information on that. Ask if you don't hit the arrive button, if they don't even receive it, if it doesn't come up on their screen. That might be what's going on there. That's good information that, again, we definitely need. So it wouldn't just be geofencing it would actually be the app, and you have to click arrive, and it allowed, right? We have to be within a certain perimeter, which geofence, to actually hit arrived. Otherwise, it says you're not in the right location, yada, yada. So good stuff. Your homework is to ask and find out. Matt Dasher, all Taco Bell and KFC offers here are that way. They don't start making the order until I've arrived every time. It's been that way for months. Now, some of it was an in-house policy. It was not a thing with GrubHub where they actually did not dispatch it to the merchant. Now, I know before they've been doing that for months at some places, not all of them, but they would tell me that instead of having it sit and wait forever, what they were doing is they were waiting for the drivers to show up. And that was based on discretion. Again, all markets are different. So this could have started 2 months ago in some of these markets and barely be hitting some of the ones like Phoenix here. I've never experienced anything like that. Usually when I get there, it's close to done. I haven't got where I got back to back where they just received the offer. So it's kind of a coincidence. And then to get that information from someone in my own market was really good stuff. Moving on here. Let's see what else we got. Silver Case says, I'm being throttled right now. Too many low pay offers. My acceptance rating is at 22%. Haven't received an offer in an hour. I'm in a busy area and receiving offers every few minutes. So you're exactly 22% right now. What that tells me is in some markets, I know in Virginia, they've started some new markets where they're starting the timeouts. In some markets, it was 10%, it was 25%, or 20%. You'll be able to find out pretty quick based off your pay summary and go look what the percentage is and when your timeout started. Were you at 9%? Were you at 19, 24, so on and so forth? It's just below one of those numbers. It lasted about 3 weeks in each one of these markets it's hit so far. We'll see what happens in the end. But find out where that threshold is and keep it just above there. You're going to have to accept one every so often, and you really have to tighten up your schedule. What I had to do was stop working off-peak hours where I could reject, and get those every so often, those good ones, right? I had to work specifically the lunch like 11 to 1 and then like 5 to 8 p.m. or even at that to keep that acceptance rate, to keep them rolling. And other drivers, they accepted more offers that were lower paying. I don't like doing that. I run multiple apps. I want to make the money that I got into this to do it. I'm an independent contractor. So that's my advice on that one. Vince says, I've noticed this in my market too. Now, Vince, how long? I know you're in a much smaller market. You said there's 2 drivers on blocks at a time. So that's a pretty good notice. You should be able to get a lot of information being a new market there. Larry Crow says, it's pissing me off getting orders outside the boundary. I bet. It sucks. Just reject, let it go to the next driver. Just think about it. The more drivers are accepting those, they're taken off. They're not going to see more offers. You'll be able to get one that's closer and better for you. You might have to be a little bit patient, but just keep in mind that time that you wasted driving outside of the boundary is time that you could have waited and got a better offer that was closer and made more profitable day for yourself. Everyone's like, oh, I'm wasting time. And yeah, all that time that you spent driving all over town is time that I spent doing other stuff, waiting on offers that made more sense. Work smarter. I know, Mad Dasher. Yeah, a lot of the stuff they do drives us crazy, right? But what can we do about it? We can't let it just ruin our day or make us go bonkers. We just have to figure out a way. That's it. Adapt and succeed. Always going to have to adapt on the fly. Jason says, this is the first time I caught you live, Jake. Thanks for all your hard work. My pleasure, Jason. Thanks for that compliment and that feedback. I'll try to do more live streams. I'm trying to do them at least once a week, so that way some of you can catch me more often and asking your stuff and give your input. Matthew says, I dashed the other night on vacation and rejected an offer for 2 items for $7, and they kicked back the same offer for double the amount, which I took. That's good stuff. Anyone else experienced where DoorDash has sent you back an offer that you've rejected for a higher amount? That's the kind of data stuff I want to hear. I know right now in GrubHub, in my market, and some of the other ones, they're offering a lot of bonuses on these offers that are sitting for an hour. For some reason, it's right around an hour. It's kind of coincidence with some of this geofencing, right? It's like if the merchant isn't confirming or accepting it, no drivers are accepting it, then they call the closest driver and they add a bonus to get that offer delivered, knowing that it hasn't been prepared yet. We could be onto something, right? Again, jump in those Facebook groups. Let's share more information and find out exactly what they're up to. Zay says, how's the pay been on GrubHub? New model just started here in LA. Now, the first week, it's going to be a slight decrease. Second week, a little more. Third week, even more than that. What this pay model does, it allows them with less transparency to decrease over time because they're estimates. We cannot pin them in a dollar amount for mileage now or for time. There's metrics that we cannot track and pin them for as far as an amount. So with that, over time, they can decrease the amount that we make without really anybody knowing, right? Kind of fly under the radar type thing. So this is what it sets them up to do in the future. Also, one thing I forgot to add in the video that I'm about to drop that I just need to edit, it's coming out just after this. In the stacked offers and new pay model, they are not paying full pay on that second. I'm not going to get into a lot of detail on that. Essentially, if you do a stacked offer, you're not getting paid the same amount you used to before. You're getting paid the full amount from the restaurant to the merchant on both of them. Essentially, you're getting paid double. Now it's like 1.5 or something like that. Again, without getting into a lot of detail, just know that when you're doing these stacked offers in the new pay model, you are definitely making a considerable amount less. And it sucks that we cannot see which one didn't tip so we can reassign. Be a lot more picky about which stacked offers you choose based on that new change. Let's see. Duncan, that's cold. I don't know which part. Ritesh, what's good? Coach, you have DoorDash and Mesa. Yes, I have. Mesa's not too bad. I noticed more of West Mesa and closer to the freeway, closer to the 60 and the 101 tend to be really good in that area as far as that. Rich Boy says, do you know why GrubHub pickups are so far away now? The reason being is they're paying a lot less in mileage, right? I know everyone's saying, oh, before it was straight line distance as a crow flies. Now it's direct mileage. We're making so much less that it doesn't matter. Even if we're as a crow fly, yeah. That's why they're able to send a lot of these further, and it makes no sense. I don't know why they're doing that. Again, another thing I need to throw out in that video for Baloney CEO Matt Maloney, with all these freaking crap changes they keep dropping on his drivers that make no sense, and they're not fixing the operating system whatsoever. Start dispatching like DoorDash does, Uber Eats, Amazon. Closer to the pickup time. Don't pass the buck on us. Yeah, that's crazy. The GrubHub pickups are a lot farther now than they used to be, and it's really cutting into the profitability, right? The more miles we rack up, that dollar per mile, expenses, there's a reason why the IRS has that tax deduction of 58 cents a mile. It went up for this year. It's because it costs a good amount of money to use your car for work. ORAM says, hey, man, thank you for all the info. I've been off schedule for a bit. What was the last time you worked on block for GrubHub? I'm on block right now. So I like to work on block all the time with GrubHub. That's when I get the most amount of offers. Yes, we do see some big offers off block, but the volume on block is night and day. Try to be on block if you can, unless your market is just that good off block. Peak times when off block, you can get away with it. There's enough offers where some of the big ones fall off. Even the bigger ones than they're seeing on the on block. Jason asked, Jake, one time I picked up 2 orders from the same restaurant for Postmates, and as I dropped off the second one, I noticed on the receipt it said it was a GrubHub order. Do you know anything about this? Yes, I've been hearing about that. I've been hearing of other delivery companies completing the delivery for GrubHub. I'm not certain. If anyone could drop more information in the comment section below, in my email, getcoachjake@gmail.com, or again, in the Facebook groups for those that do Facebook. Ritesh says, Jake, you should live stream yourself doing GrubHub, DoorDash, and show us your routine. It's tough because I'm in and out. Sometimes I go back and forth to home. Like right now, I'm home, I'm on block. I'm working on a video. I have a video that I did earlier, that I shot earlier that I need to edit. I could be going to the dog park, grocery shopping, you name it. I got a list. I got a whiteboard back here with a list of stuff to do. I got a whiteboard over here with notes. I always have something going so I can be really efficient with my time. Now, if I was someone that started a shift and ended a shift and I was out somewhere, like I've done before when it's busier, then I can do that. I try to keep it where there's not a lot of fluff and downtime to where people are getting bored and just tune it off. Great idea, though. I'll think about that and I'll see what I can do. But I do have a podcast coming, a once a week live podcast, end of July. Stay tuned. Purple Heart says certain orders should only be made when we get there, like Taco Bell. It's fast food, so it's made instantly. But if the tacos sit, they get soggy, so they need to be made fresh. I agree 100%. Some of this food should not be made until we're right there. Think about French fries, right? Or any fried foods. That needs to be fresh. But there needs to be a better way. For example, the dispatch going to the closest driver every time. Unfortunately, if the pay is so low, it gets rejected and goes further and further out to whatever drivers until somebody finally accepts it. But a lot of times it is not going to the closest driver. And I know for a fact because I'm in one of the most saturated areas for drivers. Anyhow, yes, I agree. It should be when we get there or pretty close. I think there should be a perimeter that where we're 5 minutes away and moving towards the restaurant where they get the offer, they get it started, because 5 minutes, like, they're not going to get it done faster than 5 minutes. So yes, I agree with you, but there has to be a win-win for everyone there. There has to be a middle ground. Good stuff. Matt Dasher says, they all told me it doesn't show in their order queue until you arrive. Now, who told you this? What specific merchants? And when was this? Recently, a few months back? I love data. I love exact information. Ross says, hey, Jake, I noticed GrubHub always starts me off with Lobo offer on every shift block. That's a good pattern that you're noticing. After how many offers you reject, you see something good. Have you tried off block during those peak times? I've noticed in mine, when it's really busy day and off block, I'm seeing huge offers. As where I want on block, I'm seeing all these small crappy offers. The reason being is because the premier drivers and pro drivers have to accept a certain amount to stay their program level, and they're going to be on block. That's my belief on that, and I'm pretty sure that's accurate. Purple Art and Ross Whitehead, they're trying to get those orders delivered before they toss a bigger order to you. I don't know. Robert says, hey, Jake, how to get Amazon Flex blocks? They're not available. This is summertime. Think about it. Right now, traffic is actually pretty good because there's so many people vacationing in Phoenix. It's blazing hot. Luckily, we're not 113 plus like we usually are in late June. It's just over 100. Still hot. Still like opening the oven door when you walk outside. Anyhow, with that being said, there's a lot of people on vacation. You don't have the college kids. Demand is real low. People are not ordering packages when they're on vacation and stuff like that, or moving around, yada, yada, or out of town for the weekend. Keep that in mind. That's going to drive it down. They do have the Prime Day coming. So those that are Amazon Flex, you're going to have some extra blocks for a couple days after Prime Day. There's going to be a ton of orders there. It's almost like Black Friday, right? For Amazon Prime in summertime. And then when the holidays come back around, demand's going to pick up. So you just got to think about when are people ordering more packages? Why? On top of the one-day delivery, they're adding more and more items to that. They're trying to hire employees like crazy, but they're going to need more independent contractors. And when the holidays roll around, and when they do that, the Prime Day here coming up in July, I believe, there will be plenty of blocks for that short amount of time and increased blocks. Make sure you wait till they increase. If your market has a bunch of them sit out there, jump on it and capitalize. Do as many blocks as you can in that short period because then they're going to dry up again. Good question. Work other apps. Amazon is slow right now. And they did away with Amazon restaurants, but they did add the Prime Now stuff. So you can get Prime Now in the instant offers. That starts tomorrow. FBI, what's up, man? I haven't seen you in a while. Vince says, I've noticed it for the past 2 weeks. The managers only said that the system was recently updated. They didn't know why they didn't get the order until after I arrived. 2 weeks. So that sounds about right. I believe that must have just changed in mine, or I just haven't caught on to yet because, again, I don't take a lot of Taco Bell, BK, KFC, those types of orders. Tiana says, why does DoorDash still have problems scheduling? They have a lot of problems. I was trying to get on block earlier, and the app kept freezing, doing different things. What I believe with DoorDash is they're trying to make too many changes and fixes at once, and it's just screwing the app all up, and they're having a lot of glitches and problems. I don't know a ton about technology, but I know enough that when they make too many changes at once, things can go haywire and the servers can crash and other things like that. People that are a lot more savvy with computers and technology would have a lot better explanation than I just did on that one. FBI says, hey, Jake, DoorDash is cheating customers with prices. I believe that. How so? And I'd like more information on that. I believe it, though. I don't doubt any. I mean, all these companies are very unethical and they pull a lot of crap until they get busted. Then they pay a lawsuit, move on, and make tons of money still. It's sickening. Matt Dasher says, since the update on GrubHub, if I reject an offer, they send it back with a $2 increase. They do that 3 times before they stop sending the offer. Example, first offer is $6. That's good stuff. Perfect example. And this is great stuff for the live stream I'm doing tomorrow to talk about how we're going to get GrubHub to bring the rates back up, how we're going to get DoorDash to bring the rates up, and then everyone else is at the mercy when those two do it, right? They have the market share. And by the way, DoorDash just overtook GrubHub again for market share for now. But the fight between those two is good for us all. We need to make better choices to force their hand, though. Got more on that tomorrow. Second offer is $8, he says. Third offer, $10. I've seen this a lot in GrubHub since 3.8.3 update. Has anyone else seen since that 3.8.3 update where they're getting sent an offer, they reject? I haven't had that happen here. Not at all. I'd love to see it, though. That's how it should be. You reject the offer, it comes back $2 more. You reject it again, it comes back $2 on top of that. So like you said, it goes from 4 to 6, then 6 to 8, and then finally 8 to 10. It does it 3 times before then it moves on to another driver. Has anyone else experienced that? If you don't get a chance to answer on here, you're doing the replay in the Facebook group or getcoachjake@gmail.com. And I'm doing my best to keep up with all the comments and questions on both those sites. So please be patient with me on that. FBI says some restaurants have half prices for lunch special and DoorDash is charging them full price. Now, there could be something in the contract there between them where DoorDash can charge an extra amount. And if the people still order it, DoorDash is getting or the merchant's getting a percentage of those sales from DoorDash. So I would still imagine if they are charging full price that they're going to get an extra amount there too. The restaurant might not be mad about that. So you might need to do a little more digging on that to be sure whether they're stealing from customers or whether that's in the wrong. Good stuff. Purple Heart says, I hate far orders. I would be making $2 to $4 more an order with old pay, and I even got a lot more in better orders offered. But yes, so on the new pay, a great example of why they have a lot of these farther offers. Short offers, we end up doing pretty well. We make pretty close to what the old model was. When you're taking a lot more of these longer offers, so those of you, Jacob, that love to chase these bigger dollar offers of like 14, 16, 18 bucks, are going to take 45 minutes to an hour, but a lot of miles, it's not worth it under this new model. Let's force them to change the system to be a win-win for all of us, not just them and the merchants and the customers. Should be for everybody. Ritesh, I want to do Amazon Flex, but I'm too young, so I'm stuck on DoorDash and Postmates. Yeah, Amazon's a lot of work anyhow. You're not missing out on much. They're not making a lot of money for the amount of work they're doing and the amount of time and the amount of miles. They're putting a buttload of miles on their cars. So Amazon has its pros, but it has a lot of cons too. So don't be upset if you're not on Amazon right now, especially since we don't have the Amazon restaurants anymore. That was the beauty. That was the best part. My favorite part about Amazon as far as money making. There's a lot of great things about Amazon as far as how they treat drivers and how they pay us. Minimum is $7, right? Minimum hourly guaranteed of 18. Get the focus back. That's how it should be, right? $18 an hour minimum at least allows for some expenses. That new bill passes in California. They're going to have to pay mileage and expenses. They're going to have to pay some money. Yeah, that's not good for Uber and Lyft if that passes. And I kind of hope it does now after doing a lot of research on that. A few more questions. I got to hop off. I got to get back on block. And let's see. Frank says, how is that Postmates can hire all these celebs for commercials yet can't pay us a decent amount? Venture capitalist money. Silicon Valley money. That's how. It's kind of gross. They're also DoorDash and Postmates look to file for IPO also this year. Let's see. ORAM, to follow up my question about working on block, how do you manage to get blocks if you cherry pick? I can barely get blocks from GrubHub as a partner. What is your acceptance rate? My acceptance rating is around 5%. I pick up blocks in the morning throughout the day, and at 14 and 44 after the hour when they force drop. There's more of those when it's peak times. Keep that in mind. You got to be fast. So those that are Amazon Flex drivers, you know how to tap, refresh, and do all that. Just know that when you're looking on the schedules, it doesn't refresh live. You have to refresh it yourself. So for those that are looking to stare at the screen, wait for it to change, it won't. I know that on some of the apps it does. This one is not live, just so you know. Ritesh, I normally dash and grow up close to home, which I'm right in Central Phoenix. In November 1st, I'm moving closer to the Amazon warehouse out there in Chandler. So I'll be like Mesa, Chandler, Gilbert area in a few months. I like to stay closer to home. Efficiency, lower miles. Put a crap ton of miles on my car already driving Lyft before I got into food delivery. Let's see. Darren says, when you get your data collected, let me know if distance from restaurant might give higher payouts. Not quite sure what you mean for that. Message me. Let me know what you mean, Darren. Jason says, LOL, some of this food should never be made for delivery in the first place. Some of this food should not be made for human consumption in the first place. Let's talk about that. I have a lot of gut and GI problems. I can't eat a lot of this crap because I'll get sick, sicker than, think about someone getting food poisoning. That's what happens to me when I eat a lot of this crap. So it's not too hard for me when I pick it up and I'm smelling it. Tell you what, though, barbecues, every time I pick up that place, it drives me insane. So good. Oh, and donuts. I can't eat them, but getting off track here. Zay asked, do you think gig economy apps are running dry? No, I do not. They're not running dry. All they're doing is look at what rideshare's done. Now, food delivery is basically mimicking what rideshare, Lyft and Uber, they raised the rates down to the very bottom, and they still could not turn a profit. Food delivery could still turn a profit, so they won't raise them down as far. But with DoorDash coming to compete with GrubHub, they've now had to drive rates down to keep their profits up because now they're spending more in digital and TV ads. That's a lot of money that they got to spend on that. They don't have the backers, right? They don't have, venture capitalists pumping money into them. They're a profitable company. They're paying for all that stuff themselves. So they need to take the money from us in order to pay for all that to keep their profit margin where it was and where they want it to be. Sucks for us. But no, gig economy is not going anywhere. There'll be some changes, hopefully some regulation, but gig work's not going anywhere. Look at this, $13. I don't know if y'all can see this. That is and traffic starting right there. That is an hour trip, and that's downtown Phoenix to even pick it up for $13. That's over an hour. Screw you, GrubHub. Not today. That's the kind of crap. And they wonder why we have lower acceptance ratings. Yes, $13 is decent. Not for that kind of miles and time. And about 234. Close to rush hour. By the time I picked up that offer, I'm in the heart of downtown. It's right. And coming back would have been a nightmare. And you best believe there's not a lot of offers where I was dropping it off. Anyhow, perfect example. On block, and it's crappy. It'll get better in about an hour here. If not, about half an hour. Jay, how are you a Premier driver if you reject so much? I'm not Premier. I'm partner for life. Work smarter. Never. I know that the Premier system is their way to get independent contractors to be employees without having the rights and protections that employees have. This is what I got for GrubHub without throwing it up there, because I'll keep it clean on YouTube. But yeah, that's what I think about all that in the Premier level. They're taking advantage of all of you. All of you that are Premier drivers, you're being taken advantage of and exploited by GrubHub. I don't care what you're making. You might be in a great market and be one of the anomalies. What's going to happen as your market grows and they drive rates down? You're going to be in the same boat as the rest of us. Yes, you don't care right now because it doesn't affect you directly right now. But when it does, you're going to be whining and crying in these Facebook groups or anywhere else. I guarantee it. So you need to jump on board sooner than later before it affects you too. Just ask some of these people that were in markets with DoorDash that were started out small with $8 minimums that are now low paying and saturated. What's going to happen? FBI agent, I pick up a huge order for DoorDash, 12 miles, and I had to order and pay for it. It took me 1 hour and the payout was $8. With DoorDash, I do not like far trips because of the huge risk. You do not know what you're going to make. If the guarantee came and it showed 12 or higher, something like that, and it makes sense, and you're hoping to get paid higher, absolutely. Do not do it. Try to keep them closer. Get in the spot. DoorDash position is your friend. You need to find a good position where you're surrounded by merchants, and do not take offers that are going to take you way out of position where it's going to cost you more time to get back in, or you're going to completely miss like the end of a lunch rush, something like that. Keep it close and efficient. You're better off doing short, close, $5 like Chipotle where you can get stacked. Cheesecake Factory takes forever. They do end up paying out guaranteed on quite a few of those. You got to weigh your options there. It's a risk reward thing. You're almost better off in DoorDash taking a lot of smaller, shorter, closer offers than you are those longer ones that pay out a little bit higher because of that risk that is there. Keep that in mind. Good stuff. Good one. My pleasure, Aaron. Thank you for that feedback. Rockstars, if the restaurant has the order ready by the pickup time and the driver is there at the pickup time, there should be no reason why the food gets cold. Yeah, I agree. Problem is the dispatch system and GrubHub and the inconsistency with drivers and everything. If GrubHub had a consistent system where we knew, for example, Amazon restaurants, when I got that, I knew that if I didn't boogie and get there pretty quick, that food was going to be sitting. I could not go waste time and screw around on another offer. I had to get there. Now, there was a couple of situations and circumstances where a merchant may not. Very rarely did that happen. If GrubHub was more consistent with their dispatching system, drivers would get there quicker. These orders would all get picked up and delivered based on efficiency alone. I'll tell you what, if I know I can do 4 offers in an hour in GrubHub, which is impossible in most markets, especially mine, I would then decrease my acceptance rating. I would take offers that maybe a little bit farther or lower paying, knowing that I'm going to get more offers to make up for that based on efficiency alone. Knowing that I'm only going to get 2 an hour on average in GrubHub my market means that I have to really increase and be picky on what I accept and reject. Otherwise, I get screwed, and everyone else in my market does too. So think about all that. Almost done here. Purple Heart, great question. How many repeat customers do you notice that's always tip big regardless of what you order? Now that leads me into repeat customers are the ones I see the most on my higher paying offers as a partner level. That goes to great service. So when they're done, they can go and do feedback. I believe it's a thumbs up or a thumbs down. They can say whether you were on time or late, and this could have changed. This has been a while. I'm going to find out. I'm going to do a test and order some food in the next few days and find out exactly. But there was different metrics, and it was nice that GrubHub had separated because they could see whether the food was cold, it was on time or late. They can kind of separate whether it was the driver or the merchant and then go from there instead of there just being a rating like DoorDash has and it's all on you. Pretty nice. And it does set up, there is something in the algorithm that if customers like you and they rate you and you got favorable, you're going to see that person a lot. And those that have been GrubHub drivers for a while know exactly what I'm talking about. If you have a lot of repeat customers, now the wheels in your head are starting to turn. You're like, oh, and you'll get them from different merchants. That's how I know it's something in the algorithm. There's a lot of stuff that I've collected, and it's patterns. I don't have exact written evidence, but I know. I just know. Last couple questions, and I got to go. Phone's starting to act. It's starting to go off a lot more now. Ritesh, I used to be able to schedule so easily on DoorDash for Phoenix, but that last couple weeks, it's been impossible. It's just saturated. There's just that many drivers that are going to keep keeping it saturated like that because it helps them ensure that all the offers are getting picked up, even the garbage. Phoenix, us being such a big region and them having all these split up ones and drivers can jump from one to another, they just have to saturate the crap out of it. Now, if it was GrubHub and they had us stuck to one zone and we couldn't bounce around, then they wouldn't have to saturate the entire region so much. Don says, hi, Jake. Do you think GrubHub will go back to the old pay plan? No, I think GrubHub will sell it to Amazon before they go back to the old pay plan. That's my opinion on that. Great question. JP says, Papa John's was removed from your market. Can you ask? Maybe you can ask why. Message, contacts, find out. I'm curious now. Darren, last question. On DoorDash, I get the missed order glitch, which I did not miss, and then it pauses me. Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird one. But anyhow, I got to go. Time to work. They're rolling in. I hope all of you have a great day, evening. Those that are watching the replay, be safe out there. Stay cool. And as always, work smarter. And again, tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. This is Wednesday. Live stream again. Totally different topic. Check out the description below for those Facebook group links in a little while once this video uploads. Have a great day. And again, work smarter.